You're listening to Wholesaling Inc., episode number 182.
And so, something that we always preach with, Zach and I and our team is that every no that we get is leading us one step closer to a yes. We understand it's a numbers game. Like the bulk of our leads, most of the time, they're going to say no. They're not going to be ready to go, but we're looking for those golden gems inside this bulk of numbers that we're calling to focus on and really just put our energy towards as we're moving forward, trying to add value to as many homeowners as we can in DFW.
This is game-changing information guaranteed to raise your real estate wholesaling business with actionable steps you can take immediately to navigate the ins and outs of wholesaling and start making money today. Bam! Join us as we put our guests in the hot seat and dive deep to dissect their strategies for success to enable you to duplicate their results. Investor Grit presents Wholesaling Inc., the only show dedicated to making you a fortune in wholesaling with your hosts, Tom Kroll and Cody Hoffheim.
Woo-wee! Hello, Rhino Nation. It is Brent Daniels. How is everybody doing this month so far? I know around the country, this business, this wholesaling business is exploding. People are doing phenomenal amount of deals left and right, and it is just so exciting, especially everybody that's involved with Wholesaling Inc. or the TTP program. I mean, it's just incredible. I get texts and Facebook posts every single day showing just check after check after check. So I'm just really, really excited. It truly is hitting the lottery. Wholesaling real estate is a cash machine. It is like hitting the lottery. And I wanted to just touch on three things. Remember, the three things in this business that you have to look at. Number one is your marketing/prospecting, okay? Listen, there's only three things to keep an eye on in this, and just listen to this. Number one is marketing and prospecting. How are you going to source your deals? It is so vital. You need to know what your numbers are there. You need to track it. You need to know how many people do I need to talk to and how much does it cost to talk to those people on a monthly basis to hit my financial goals. Okay, number one. Number two is conversion. That is where we are talking about the sales skills. How is your ability to build relationships? How is your ability to build rapport? How is your lead follow-up? Are you organized? Are things slipping through the cracks, or are you just absolutely tenacious? You are calling. I am telling you, I have never, nor has anybody in my company ever lost a deal from too much follow-up. Excess follow-up is not a thing. So get out, make sure that you are doing your lead follow-up. It is so critical. The second is conversion. How many of those leads coming in are you converting to a signed contract? And number three is disposition, selling that deal. Disposition. How are you financially making that income? How are you turning this opportunity into income? How is that value that you're providing turning into income? That is your disposition side. And we know if we are wholesaling, it is all about the cash buyer database. Do not be a cash buyer employee and only have 5 or 10 buyers that you bring every single deal to. If you do, I am telling you, you are missing out on a minimum of $5,000 to $10,000 per deal. I'm telling you that based on experience, not based on just conjecture. Okay, I did it for years. Once I built my cash buyer database to something that was robust and something that was hungry every single day, my deals went from an average of $14,000 to an average of $23,800 per deal in Phoenix, Arizona. So remember, marketing, prospecting. Hopefully it's prospecting so you're out there on offense. Number two is the conversion. How are your sales skills? Are you building them? Are you learning the sales process? Are you reading? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you watching training videos? There's so much on YouTube that you can watch to help build up your sales skills, build up your ability to convert leads. And number three is disposition. How are you selling those properties? Are you getting the absolute most out of them possible? So really, really focus on those three. And I am telling you guys, I have partners on this podcast interview today, on this conversation, that are doing an extremely, extremely effective and incredible ability to do all three of these things. And it is my pleasure to introduce from Dallas, Fort Worth, from DFW, competitive market, but these guys are breaking through because they are badass. Justin Peters and Zac Fisher, say hello.
How we doing, guys? Such an honor to be here with you.
Hey, it is an honor to have you guys on here, So let's break down, first of all, how long have you guys been in the business and how long have you guys been partnered up?
Yeah, man. So I started in real estate right after, about a year after college. I went to Texas A&M University, went down to the oil field in West Texas to go to the grind of that and pay off all my student loans and everything. And I knew, from college when I really started getting into personal development, after reading, the standard, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and books like that real estate was what I wanted to go after. I didn't really know what that looked like or what that entailed, but just the fact that everyone needs a home to live in, the fact that it's one of life's biggest transactions, and that you can have so much massive value to individuals in this world. I mean, really, you can scale it as large as you want to. It was so intriguing to me. And so I dabbled into real estate, man, got into some wholesaling side at the beginning of it. With one of the bigger companies. And long story short, man, I ended up going into the corporate world with the 8 to 5. And at a point in time in my life frame, it came up to where I told myself, if I chase after 2 rabbits, I'm going to end up with none. And so I had to make the decision, to, like Tony Robbins says, like all the big personal development guys say, sink your ships. Do what you have to do. Go all in. Focus on this opportunity that we have here in this time. The resources are there. Everything is here for us to take advantage of it. The only thing you need is the recipe. We got the recipe from you guys, and we've just been getting after it ever since, man.
Love it. And when did you guys get together?
So Justin and I, since college, have always talked about, wanting to do something together. We never really knew what that was going to be, but we kind of been manifesting something, and then ended up whenever, Justin started showing me wholesaling kind of at the beginning of this year. And we really, started diving into Wholesaling Inc. and then came across TTP and the rest was history. We really stopped dabbling. We were dabbling a little bit in the beginning, and then we really started getting focused about March and then started really seeing some results, April, May, and into June.
Love it. When did you guys first start? Was it back in, it wasn't at the beginning of the year. It was a little bit before that, right?
It was, yeah. So we actually started like right around November. That's whenever we started with Wholesale Program, which, anyone who's wondering about that program, it is absolutely fantastic. They lay everything out to you step by step. I mean, it literally, the manual's there. All you have to do is take action on it. And, while we were doing that, like Zac said, just to kind of echo off that, we were dabbling, Brent. So like we would go through, we'd send out, maybe 1,000, 2,000 postcards every month. And we were sitting there scratching our heads like, why are we not getting deals? We're hearing about all these guys having massive success. And, we learned very quickly that this is a numbers game. And when we got introduced to, like we talked about earlier, this myth, this man, this legend, Brent Daniels, the TT.
Come on.
We were so intrigued, man. And, like we talked about, what intrigued us was the fact that we could take action and the results were up to us. And we absolutely love that. Like input equals output in so many cases in life. And the fact that we were able to set up the system with your training step by step, kind of add some critiqueness to what we were doing with our processes and our systems and get on the phone with these individuals. It's truly just changed the game and revolutionized what we're doing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market.
Oh, and you bring up a perfect point. It's the very simple law of cause and effect. Here's a fact to everybody out there listening. What Justin and Zac are talking about here is the cause that they are doing is they are reaching out and they are talking to people, which is fundamentally in every single deal that has ever been done since the beginning of time, somebody has had to talk and communicate with somebody. So why wouldn't you want to try to be in a position to talk to as many people as possible and be on the offense of that? Not just waiting around for people to call, but actually reaching out like you guys have done, right?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Grant.
So how does this work between you guys? Do you guys both make calls? Does somebody make calls and does somebody work acquisition? Somebody works disposition? Like, how does it work?
Yeah. So fantastic question. So at the beginning, it was really, Zac and I wearing multiple hats. So Zac he came from an entrepreneurial background. And the reason that I brought him on, he was very green, didn't know anything about real estate in November of last year. But what I knew about Zac was that he has a massive amount of hunger. He reads books. I mean, we're on the 52-week book challenge right now that you guys are doing. Like the guy so involved in wanting to better himself. And I know that the hustle was there with him. And so, I took a chance on saying, look, with my knowledge that I have, I want to bring you on. I'm going to be patient as I can possibly be. And I'm going to teach you every step that I can. And we're just going to see what we can make out of this. And so how our process works, man, at the beginning, it was us just pretty much doing everything. I mean, we were calling, we were driving for dollars ourselves. We were getting on list source, adding those lists. And at the time, one of the biggest struggles for us, Brent, was that we were working to get our skip tracing service in place. And man, it took us nearly, I think it was like 4.5 to 5 months to finally get this company to get us set up with us to be able to get the data ourselves and plug it into Mojo.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, man, we were using a third-party vendor. The data wasn't as great as we had wanted it to, but at the same time, man, it kind of goes back to us at first, just kind of dabbling on it. And then we regrouped and we talked about, we're like, look, man, if we're going to do this, we have to take massive action, kind of take the Grant Cardone approach, 10x everything that we're doing. Like calls, let's multiply our calls every week. Drive for dollars, let's multiply our drive for dollars. And then let's come up with a game plan on how we can start slowly but surely delegating each aspect of our business to where we can focus on the core principles, which is building, which is finding team members to come on, and which is making sure that we have our lead generation in place, rocking and rolling consistently week by week.
Love it. So you guys are both making calls, right?
Every week.
Every week. So how do you stay consistent? How do you have that discipline? Because I know you guys are like probably the strongest guys in the tribe, right? I mean, at least, CrossFit and doing all these like crazy, I mean, you guys are nuts, right? So, I mean, there's a discipline there, right? There's a discipline that's involved with staying consistent with making calls. And to follow up that, I'm going to give you 2 questions. 1, how do you stay consistent? And 2, how do you overcome all of the rejection that you get on a daily basis?
So that's a great question. How we stay consistent is we're number junkies, just like you are, Brent. We track every week. We have goals that we need to hit. We have weekly meetings with our team, and we go over how did we do last week. Periodically throughout the week. Hey guys, we're 500 calls short of our goal for this week. So we're just constantly motivating and pushing our team and ourselves to make sure that we hit those goals, so that we hit our metrics every single week to basically ensure that we're getting these properties under contract. We're able to help these homeowners out.
Awesome. In the book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution, they talk about a scoreboard, how important a scoreboard is to track the focusing on the wildly important, right? Focusing on what is the engine of this business. So is that what you guys are talking about? Are you guys talking about, keeping track of your numbers on some sort of scoreboard?
Exactly. It's actually called our weekly scoreboard. So ironically, but yeah. And we know that, for every about 1,000 phone calls, we get 4 valuations, which basically that's 4 homeowners that are interested in having their home be sold. So then we're going to run numbers on those. Those 4 lead to 2 appointments. Every 2 appointments we go on, we close one deal. So we're constantly tracking our numbers. We're going over that with our team and just refining it all along the way to make sure that, we are moving forward. That needle is moving forward. We just talk about, okay, guys, here's our goals, but let's win today. What can we do today to ensure that, next week, next month, next year, we're going to be where we want to be?
Love it. Love it. And how do you overcome all the rejection? How do you not feel sad? How do you not just cocoon up and just kind of, go into a dark room and get under the covers and just, kind of console yourselves? How do you get up every single day with a good enthusiasm and a positive attitude and continue to go through, rejection after rejection after rejection?
So what I've heard from you, Brent, and this has stuck with me since the first time I heard it, like, everyone that's listening to this, that's considering TTP, that's already doing TTP, understand that you are legitimately one phone call away from changing your life, your family's life, everything that you have done up to this point. You're one phone call away from changing all of it. And so knowing that this business can truly change your life, and if you're not satisfied with where you are or things aren't the way they're supposed to be, like, this is a proven method that truly works and that could change all your pain into solutions that you're looking for if you're willing to put in the work. And so, something that we always preach with, Zac and I and our team is that every no that we get is leading us one step closer to a yes. We understand it's a numbers game. Like, the bulk of our leads, most of the time, they're going to say no. They're not going to be ready to go, but we're looking for those little those golden gems inside this bulk of numbers that we're calling to focus on and really just put our energy towards as we're moving forward, trying to add value to as many homeowners as we can in DFW.
And Brent, to echo on that, you guys provide the tools, like the system, the scripts, so we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just simply diving in, doing what you guys told us to do because it's already working for you guys and many listeners on this podcast. If you just continue to do that and not focus on the no's and just keep looking for the yeses, you will, like Justin said, every no will lead to a yes that can change your life.
Yep. I love it. Yeah, those are my two favorite things to quote is that you're only one phone call away from changing your life. And number two is the more people I talk to, the luckier I am. I mean, it's the absolute fact. It's not rocket science here. We're not reinventing anything. We're not doing anything. You guys are doing absolutely all of the hard work. But the path is laid out in the TTP program, and the path is laid out so that you don't have to invent, you don't have to experiment and rework everything that's already working. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing. But it takes your guys' discipline, your guys' passion, your guys, really understanding what your purpose is on a daily basis to go out and consistently talk to new people every single day. And I love it. Everybody listening to this podcast wants to hear about some success that you've had, some deal. We're all deal junkies. We're all like pumped up. Every time we hear somebody get some deals, a couple different emotions goes through our body, right? Either, hey, how did he get that deal and I didn't? Or, oh my gosh, that is so incredible. If he can do it, I can do it. These type of things, So let's talk about a specific, do you guys have a deal or a couple deals or a month that you guys want to talk about where it was just outstanding that you can just light some fire underneath people listening to this?
Yeah. What I want to start off saying with that question, Brent, is that we kind of go back to the immediate gratification factor. Like you have to understand it in this business, what we're seeing on average, it's taking us about anywhere from 75 to 95 days on average from us initially talking to these homeowners to actually closing them out.
Right.
Now, when a lot of people, if they're kind of iffy about it at first and they don't seem like they're going to want to sell, a lot of people just kind of throw them to the side. But our main goal is, fortune is in the follow-up. And so I bring that up because a lot of the deals that we've been able to take down ourselves is because of, one, the relationship, the rapport that we've been able to build with these individuals and truly coming from a place of serving. Like everything we do, it's look, we want to see how we can help you guys out. If that's with us, fantastic. If it's not with us, look, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure you're getting exactly what you need for the best situation that you can handle for your home. And whatever we have to do on our end, whether we get paid or not, we're willing to do that. And so having that mindset, man, with all these deals has changed everything. And for example, for, Crystal, the deal that we recently just closed, it's just a prime example of us going above and beyond to make sure that these individuals are taken care of. It's an elderly woman. We called her on TTP. At first, she was not having it. She was blown. We were reaching out, how did you get my number? What's going on with this?
She got real bad anxiety too.
Yeah.
We talked to her for an hour plus, every time.
Every time. And we just stayed consistent with it and, really just made it clear, look, Crystal, we just want to see how we can help you out. We know this home has been vacant. It seems like it may be a headache to you. All we want to do is see if we can help you out with this chapter to be able to put it behind you. And long story short, Brent, that's an example to where we followed up for probably Zach, over 90 days, I would think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And finally got to meet this lady. She came out there with her son, because she was just a worrier in a sense, which, a lot of people, if they're not used to this, it's kind of foreign to people. And, we went out there. Zach was heading that deal, went out there, built rapport with her in person, with the son as well. And the most beautiful part about this, Brent, is that when closing came around, Zach went and picked this lady up and spent nearly 5 hours at closing table with her, making sure that everything was going great. Everything was filled out perfectly. We were calling the banks for her, making sure everything was just squared away. And then he took her home to her house just to go above and beyond to exceed those expectations, man. And that's really what we aim for with what we do, man, is follow up, building rapport, letting them know that we're going to give them as much value as we can, regardless if that's with us or not. And making sure that we're always, acting from a go-giver standpoint. And that's been the key to our success with every single deal we've been able to pick up this far.
I love it. I mean, just serving value. I mean, think about that. I mean, who else was going to do that? It's just so incredible. It truly is. If you take a second and start looking at it as I'm working to provide value to a fellow human being, to a homeowner, to a seller, to whatever, however you want to phrase it, however you want to put it into your mind, but just providing value there, and you take out the financial part of it and the income part of it, and you're just there to serve. I mean, that's what it's about. That is the key to it. It is all about providing value, and just an incredible opportunity for you guys to do that, and you guys seized it, and I love that. So let me ask you this. So why was her house vacant?
So she had tenants in there, and then they didn't end up wanting to re-sign the lease, and so she worries about everything. I mean, she worries about like literally everything from carpet to, I mean, it doesn't matter. She couldn't rent it out again because she was worried that basically there was something wrong. When I went out there to view her property, every little thing from a doorknob to a window to, she wanted to clean the whole place before she would let me go out there. I'm like, look, Crystal, like it's fine. We buy it as is. Like, let me just go out there. And so, really, that's the reason why she has pretty bad anxiety. And so I was able to just, sit her down, talk to her, become her friend, build rapport. And I promised her, I said, look, Chris, I'll pick you up. We'll go to closing together. And closing ended up taking a really, really long time because she had a lot of questions. But at the end of the day, I was happy to be able to help her more than the profit that we made off it. I was just happy to be there to help her out because now that was a burden that would keep her up at night, knowing our squatter's going to bust in there, are the bills being paid, things like that. So it was just a pleasure to be able to help her. It was just ended up being able to help her out in other areas as well that don't even pertain to real estate. So it was just an all around awesome experience. And that's what we try to bring with every single deal for every, with our team and really instill that in them as well.
I love it. So tell me what did you guys put it under contract for, and then what did you assign it for?
So we put it under contract for $170, I believe, and sold it for $185.
$185. So you made $15,000 on it.
Yep.
We have been waiting for that beautiful sound for so long, Mr. Daniel.
I'll tell you what, the people in my new office hate it. So I'm glad that you love it. That makes me feel good. That makes me want to do it more.
Every day.
So absolutely phenomenal, guys. I love that. So you guys you've done that deal. You guys are moving forward. How's your pipeline? How's your leads? How's your business looking? We're now on the back half of the year, back half of 2018. How are things looking?
Yeah, man. So right now things are, like I said earlier, our main focus is, okay, how can we start delegating this and increasing our numbers? Like Zach said earlier, we have a certain amount of calls that we need to make that gives us a certain amount of appointments and a certain amount of closed deals. And so, we reached out to Jason Hubley, Call Motivated Sellers recently, and we've got our team member who's going to be joining on Wednesday of this week, actually. So thank you very much, Brent, for referring them to us. We're incredibly excited to have someone jumping on board, giving us 40 hours a week on the caller so we can start focusing on building our acquisition managers and really training them to where they need to be. And so they can start focusing on, the income producing activities that we haven't really had a whole lot of time to deal with because we've been so focused on metrics and making sure that we're hitting those numbers each week. But our deals, man, we've got probably, I'd say,
we have 11 closed or contract right now.
11 under contract right now. I mean, we're looking at, I think, $135,000 a month once
I love it. Are you hearing that, everybody? They started in November. Are you kidding me? Guys, you guys are just doing incredible business. That is bananas. Over 6 figures in what, 8 months? Come on now. That's just, oh man, that is absolutely phenomenal. So let me start with this. Let me ask you this question to Zach first. Zach, what is your superpower?
My superpower?
Yep.
Man, that's a great question. Probably, man, you could go so many ways. I'm super competitive, but I'm a good motivator. I feel like I'm good at motivating our team. Also, I'm just a personable guy. I'm just always happy. I just feel like I can build rapport really well with people because I make them feel like a friend. And I don't really know if I have one superpower, but I'm just kind of like a mixture of many different things, but really just work hard and try to, make as many friends as possible. That's kind of my thing. I always got a smile on my face and I always try to make people feel good.
I love it. Justin, what's your superpower?
I would say that my superpower is knowing, not thinking, but knowing that, I have the ability to do whatever it takes to get the job done. So many people in this world, a lot of people will tell you that like we're in the most competitive time. I kind of don't agree with that. I think that, this world is getting very content and very, very instant gratification, like where they're looking for that 30-day formula to succeed. Yep. And I would say my superpower is just the ability to know that I'm going to stay consistent and I'm going to engage in consistent action, knowing that even though it's not going to happen right now, one day, what I'm working towards is going to come to fruition because I'm so consistent when most people are going to give up and quit.
Perfectly put. I love that. And you guys you had mentioned it earlier that we are all engaged in reading a book a week to keep our mindset high, to keep to keep good, positive thoughts in our head, to like climb into the brains of some of the most incredible minds that have ever lived. What is, and I'll ask each of you guys this, what is a book that you've read that everybody should read?
Well, as far as sales, one that I haven't heard on a podcast that really helped me early on years ago in my sales training was The Psychology of Sales by Brian Tracy.
Oh, excellent. Yep.
That is a great book. He breaks it all down on just basically how a lot of it's just mindset. Are you confident that you can go in here and get the job done and make the sale? So a lot of it's not so much of, are you saying the right things? It's just all about your mindset, and that's a really good book that I haven't heard anybody say before. So I recommend that one.
Yeah, and for me, I'm going to go back probably like 100+ years with the one and only Dale Carnegie and say that even though a lot of people probably heard about this, I recommend not just reading it, but truly studying the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mean, it is so critical to understand that like people in this world truly just want to feel important and appreciated. If you can learn how to do that in a genuine manner, money or anything is never going to be an issue to you. I can assure you on that. So don't just read that book. Like if you're going to buy it, I suggest putting a date on your calendar every year to where you restart reading it and to where you just study that book up and down because the lessons in there are just absolutely invaluable.
I love it. Yeah. I had a coach once that said everybody on their forehead has MMFI, make me feel important. Right? It's exactly what you're talking about. He got it straight from that Dale Carnegie book. So I couldn't agree with you more. Just a phenomenal read. And really a great philosophy if you really want to put that visual into your head whenever you're walking around. But guys, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. How do people get a hold of you? Do you have an email that maybe they could send if they want to reach out to you, if they want to mastermind with you, if they have a deal they want to send you, if they just want to say thanks for this podcast? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, so Justin at jzhomebuyers.com and Zach at jzhomebuyers.com, and then go to our Facebook page.
Like the letters,
like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yeah, we didn't think that went through.
The letter J, the letter Z.
Got it.
Buyers plural.com, and then
like Justin and Zach.
Yeah, and then Zach is ZAC.
Yep.
Yeah, and then our Facebook page too, JZ Homebuyers. Go there and message us. We'll make sure to respond that way. And if there's any way that we can help or add value at all, man, I mean, we really are go-givers. We don't just say it. We try to live it every single day. And so if we can help anybody with just the smallest things, we'd love to be able to do so in any way that we can.
Love it. Love it. And just in closing, guys, everybody out there, what an incredible interview. I mean, come on. In 8 months, they're getting to 6 figures a month in their business. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. You need to reach out to these guys and understand the type of people that they are. Remember, you are the culmination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So make sure that you guard that, you protect that, you make sure that that is precious to you, and surround yourself by people that are doing way more than you. I am telling you, it'll explode your business. I listened to this exact podcast with Tom Kroll, and within 2 podcasts, I had signed up, not because I didn't know how to wholesale, but because I wanted to surround myself with people doing way more than me. In that year that I joined the Wholesaling Inc. program, I tripled my business. And then the year after that, I did $1.34 million, $1 million of that coming from picking up the phone, over $1 million, from picking up the phone and talking to people, the TTP program. That is exactly what If you guys haven't heard of it, if you wanted to get more information on it, if you want to skip to the front of the line, if you want to be proactive in your business, you have to go to wholesalinginc.com/TTP. Sign up for a call. The team is amazing. You will get so much value on just a 20-minute phone call. But we are here for you. We'd love to talk to you, and I'd love to talk to you on a welcome call when you join this program and start talking to people on a regular basis. So, guys, Justin, Zach, thank you so much again. I really, really appreciate you for bringing so much value to this podcast and to the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. We look forward to meeting you in October at the summit.
In October, that's right. Wholesaling Summit 2018.com. Get in there. There's only 300 spots. There's far less than that now already. So it is October 15th through the 17th. Wholesaling Summit 2018.com. Remember, that is in Asheville, North Carolina. I've never been there, but everybody that has told me it's a magical place. So really, really excited about that. So until next time, guys, I encourage everybody to talk to people. I have so much love for you, and we'll talk to you soon.
That's all for this episode. Your next step to success is to continue the conversation over at investorgrit.com by joining the mailing list, as well as get your chance to book a strategy session to learn the systems and become part of the tribe with your hosts, Tom Kroll and Cody Hoffheim. We'll see you next episode with more ways to make you a fortune in wholesaling.